little bit for a couple of people to join the live before I start um, expressing how I feel. Like I probably can see that I'm drained right now. Man, it sucks. It sucks. I'm going to do like a live again for like to react to the whole entire card basically. There were some interesting moments in that particular card, but um, for this, I simply just want to focus on um, what happened in this particular fight and a couple of other fights that I feel like were similar to this particular one. It feels like nothing is being done, man. Like these judges, I feel like they are being given too much power, and there are no repercussions for horrible decisions, right? Because they are busy ruining people's careers, and I don't feel like they are being held accountable for that. How do you give a decision to to Christian Rodriguez? Like how does that happen? Like how does that happen? Why isn't there a system in place whereby judges are held accountable for the decisions they make? Because it feels like they can ruin people's careers and get away with it without any repercussions. They will tell you, okay, we're doing an investigation into this, and then we'll get back to you guys, and then it never goes anywhere. Like there have been horrible robberies in the past, but we are ultimately told that they are going to look into it, and that's basically it, and that's where it usually ends. It doesn't go anywhere beyond that particular point, which is significantly horrible. Like how do you give um, Christian Rodriguez that fight when he was being manhandled for 2 rounds? How does that make sense? And it sucks to actually get online and just complain and not necessarily have any sort of resolution as it relates to how are we going to resolve this. Obviously I have a resolution, but I feel like it's something that I want to patent and trademark and actually maybe implement it myself, because I just that it's going to be expensive to actually implement something that like what I'm planning on doing, or rather the concept that I have. But the only way to get to a point whereby the sport is fair is if we just remove judges completely. You know, when you look at sports like soccer and basketball and all those type of things, it's very clear who wins, because you don't even have to wonder who won, because it's basically cut through, like it's straightforward. You either scored or you didn't score. You don't have to rely on any other person to actually tell you if you actually did enough to actually win a fight. So I think MMA should actually try to get to a point whereby such things are implemented. Football, not soccer. Well, it's soccer, my dude. Wherever you are in the world, you can call it football. It's soccer where I'm from. Um, Nonetheless, I feel like some type of a system should be implemented, in whereby when these type of things happen, I'm not in the fight, and the crazy part is that I don't bet on fights, right? But it hurts me, probably I don't know, just as much as like the person who was robbed in the fight specifically, because I put in so much effort into actually predicting fights, and to build this channel, it takes up a lot of time and effort. What main boxing should have ex fighters judging? Yeah, the thing is, the problem with judges, I hear you, young M, but the thing with judges is that most of the time their opinions or their biases, obviously, for example, let's say I'm an ex-fighter, me personally, and I'm a fan of Hamza Chimaev, I'm a fan of Islam Makhachev. Do you think I'm going to be objective when it comes to maybe Hamza Chimaev or Islam Makhachev having a close fight? Most likely, I'm going to be a little bit biased because I like a specific fighter, and that's one of the few the many problems that I have with judging fights, because it feels like, okay, let me see, these judges have never gotten yeah, they have never gotten in the ring, but I think the biggest issue is that they are not held accountable for the decisions that they make. When I started this stream, I was basically saying that they are able to make decisions that impact people's careers, and nothing ever really happens to them. I've never really heard the UFC saying we fined this particular judge or we fired this particular judge, and they've been making horrible decisions for I don't know how long, and then nothing really ever happens. Like, it's like, oh, it was a horrible decision, and then we cry about it on social media for like 2 days, 3 days, and then it's over. Like, it's really, really, really frustrating. Like, it it sucks, man. Like, it really, really sucks. And for especially for the fighter specifically, if I'm this frustrated about this, I can just only imagine how the fighter feels, because Isaac Dulgarian actually dominated 2 rounds. Like, there's no question about it. Especially the first round, I think, in my opinion, should have been a 10-8, because there was next to no offense from Christian Rodriguez in the first round. So it's really challenging for me to actually understand how anyone can actually. The final round, it's sure you can give it to um, Christian Rodriguez. A 10-8 is crazy, but I would have been okay with a draw, right? I wouldn't have been okay, but like I would have been. What do you talk- I would have been okay with a draw, but at the very least, not necessarily okay, but I would be able to accept it. Not Isaac losing that particular fight. Maybe I need to rewatch the fight again for um what do you call her, Josiane Nunez and Chelsea Chandler. That's another one that rubbed me the wrong way, because I feel like Nunez won the first round, and I think she won the last round. Maybe I didn't watch the fight properly. Maybe I should rewatch it. But it's things like this that make me feel like, damn, like judges need to be removed from actually determining who wins in this particular sport, because they have so much power, and it seems like no one is doing anything about the decisions that they're making, which is honestly horrible. Like, it's really, really, really horrible. And I have solutions. Unfortunately, they cost a lot of money to implement, and I plan on doing them, but it highly relies on this particular channel growing to a point whereby I'm able to do certain things in order to actually implement the ideas that I have, in order to basically do like a promotion whereby I don't know. I have to research with regards to compliance in this particular industry, whereby what do I have to follow, the rules I have to follow within fight promotion. But whenever I decide to start doing that, whenever I have gathered enough capital to start doing those type of things, I am going to make sure that I don't have judges in whatever it is that I'm doing, which is doable. I feel like people are not doing anything about it. If you are not going to remove judges, that's fine. At the very least, hold them accountable. Like, it's tiring going. Like, I was even asking myself, should I even do this live or not? Because it's exhausting. I'm going to do this. There are a lot of people online who are complaining right now. We're going to cry, and then nothing is ever going to be done. If they see that there's a lot of people who are upset, number one, what's going to happen? It's either they are going to tell us they're doing an investigation, or number two, they are going to tell us, okay, they're going to overturn it. But overturning a fight, that doesn't necessarily change the fact that this will happen again. Like, it has happened so many times before. Like, it's crazy. It has happened so many times before. So we know this is not the last time. It's gonna happen again. Like, you don't need to actually um be a fortune teller to actually know that this is going to happen again, and the judges, nothing happens to them, and which really is frustrating when you put in so much effort into, number one. Let me not even speak about myself and the amount of effort that I put into my channel in order to make these predictions, and someone who comes to the channel, I don't know, maybe 10 months from now will be like, yeah, this guy got this wrong. And they won't even realize or know this person was actually robbed in a fight. Number one, the people who invest money, financial investment, like the people who, for example, say, okay, I've made predictions, then they put their time into actually researching. And Dulgarian won the fight, but he guessed and left the damn judges. Yeah, I agree that Dulgarian actually made the mistake of guessing out, but nonetheless, a fight is scored round by round, not necessarily in a bundle to say, okay, because you lost the final round, then you lose the whole entire fight. Then what's the point of having rounds? You know. But yeah, it's something needs to be done. Like we can't just complain every single time, and like that's where it ends. For now, I'm going to do a different live whereby I go through the entire card. Um, Brian Battle looked incredible. I want to speak about that, but this live specifically was for actually like to vent and to actually speak about like what was happening in that particular fight. Tai Tuivasa, the guy. I think it's over for him, man. Like if he couldn't beat Taibura, but let me go off this live and start a different live whereby I break down, or rather I recap every single fight from the recent fight night. I appreciate all of you guys. Wait for the stream. I'm going to start a different stream and speak about the whole entire card. So yeah.